Hi and welcome back to the Gouldian Aviary. Today you join me in my kitchen because we are going to be talking about egg food and how do I make my own egg food. Also talking about commercial egg food and the benefits of using it alongside your own egg food. So firstly, let's look into why we feed egg food to our birds. So we primarily give egg food when we are breeding our birds. So we primarily give egg food when we are trying to condition our birds and also while our birds are breeding and raising chicks. Egg food is really rich in protein and other trace elements and minerals, which the birds will need to get their bodies into optimal health for the breeding season and obviously to produce and lay nice strong eggs, nice healthy shells on those eggs. So you need to be thinking about what you're putting in your egg food. And of course, once the eggs hatch, the little chicks need as much protein as possible. Now, obviously in the wild, the birds would be foraging and choosing insects and other bits of wildlife, flies and whatever, to feed their birds and supplement their protein levels to help them grow, because obviously they are really demanding. And if they've got 5 or 6 chicks, that is a lot of work, to keep them all growing at a steady rate, and they are all roughly the same age, so their needs are all the same. In captivity, we obviously don't have that option. I know we can feed mealworms and things like that, and dried mealworms and other, insects that you can purchase. But, for most of us, that is a hassle we don't really want. So egg food is our go-to. Now, you can buy commercial egg food. You can buy things like this, which is a dry egg food. It doesn't have to be specific. It's not specifically for canaries. I think they're all pretty much the same. I think you can get Finch ones as well, but this is what's readily available to me within a mile of my home. So this is the one I get for dry egg food. Now, so to feed this to your birds, you can obviously mix it with water. What does it say here? Yeah, mixing it with water just to make a nice crumbly consistency, because otherwise you will see it is just literally a dry kiln dried, I would imagine, or oven dried biscuit type crumb with egg and other bits and pieces in it, which on its own is not palatable for the birds, in my opinion. Some may take the larger pieces, but a lot of it is very dusty, so it definitely does need to be mixed with water. Now, I buy this because I use it as a carrier for my own egg food, as a filler really. So when you're thinking about egg food, you're thinking about obviously hard-boiled eggs. In today's mix, I've got hard-boiled eggs, I've got sweet corn and peas and broccoli. Now, I have already mixed it up because I wanted to be prepared for the video. So I have to be careful because these aren't actually hard-boiled eggs. They are soft, they are fresh eggs. So I do not want to be dropping these on my kitchen floor. But anyways, joking aside, you need nice fresh ingredients. Obviously peas and sweet corn are frozen. I don't feed them to the birds, or I don't put them into the egg food frozen. I normally defrost them by just tipping some boiling water over them, leaving them to soak for a few minutes, then putting them in the sieve to drain. That, put them on a paper towel to get most of the moisture off, and then liquidize it. So in this mix, we do have exactly that. So we have 2 hard-boiled eggs, we have broccoli and sweet corn and peas. Now, also into this, you could add extra calcium supplements, any vitamin supplements you want. I don't do that because I do that anyway in their water normally. So it is really quite nutritious as it is. I mean, it's got fresh egg, it's got the egg shell. Obviously, you leave the shells on, extra calcium, and the birds will take that. But obviously now we have just got a sodden mess, which it would not be palatable for the birds. So I will show you exactly what I do now. So I will be mixing this into a bowl, or transferring it into a bowl rather. And you'll see it's just really a real wet mix. As you can see, it's really quite a wet mix. So into this I will add, and I won't use this big spatula because it's not really the best piece of equipment. I'm going to use just a spoon. So this was from my last box. It was already open. I'm not sure that's. So I'm going to tip all of that in. It probably won't be enough. And then just mix that dry ingredients into the mix. So clearly isn't enough. So let's open this bag up. We're going to put a nice big spoonful in, maybe two. Now, by using this commercial dried stuff as well, you are actually increasing even higher the levels of nutrients, because they are obviously manufactured as a complementary food to birds, and they're going to be made with all the best ingredients, and adding it to this homemade egg mix just accelerates all that goodness that will help raise those chicks and keep your birds in tip-top condition. Now it is still a bit claggy, so I'm going to add another spoonful. Maybe two. And just keep mixing, just keep mixing it around until we get a nice crumbly consistency, which we are getting. Now obviously this is quite a lot, so what do I do with it? Keep in the fridge for 3 days, probably, maybe 4. So I keep it in small little containers and freeze what I'm not going to be using in the next day or so, and then just pull it out the night before it's needed, and it's as simple as that. And that's a really nice egg food. And you can put any vegetables you want in there, really, anything that's palatable. I did actually mean to put some carrot in, which I have forgotten to do. I'm not going to worry about it now. I've already mixed it up, so it's absolutely fine. There's lovely little bits of broccoli, the peas, the sweet corn, all adds nutrients. Sweet corn is really good for protein. Peas are high in everything, I think. And broccoli is just a superfood in my opinion. So that's my own egg mix. So what do you put in your egg mix? Be sure to tell me down below, but I'm sure we all do similar things. We just use what we've got in the fridge or freezer and, mix something up that's going to be really palatable for the birds. Now, do you use, that was a bit difficult to say, do you use the dry egg food to mix into your own bird egg food, or do you use biscuits? And I'd be interested to know what biscuits you do use, whether it's crackers or digestives or whatever. I would be interested to know, because this is great, but if you could buy a packet of biscuits for you could probably buy 4 packets of biscuits for the price of this, if you know what I mean. So not that I'm tight, but you know, if you can get away with just using your own vegetables, egg and cheap old biscuits, then I'm all for that. I mean, my birds go absolutely crazy for this when they have chicks in the nest. The diamond doves are also now going crazy for it. But so I have been using, just for the last few days, commercial egg food, the moist one. Because it is been so hot here, I am literally throwing away quite a lot of my own made egg food, because, you know, I tend to put out probably too much anyway. But you can only really leave it in the bird room for an hour tops, because you got to think, you know, it's raw egg. It's not raw egg, it's cooked egg, but it's a food, and bacteria, multiplies tenfold, you know, every hour or something. And you don't want to make your bird sick. So I have been using this commercially bought egg food, which I showed you a minute ago, the moist egg food, as a supplement. It has got everything the birds need in it. It's brilliant stuff. I will put a picture of the big bag that I've got of it in the bird room just here, so you can see what it is I'm using. I know it's made in Belgium. I think a lot of these things are made over in Belgium. Yeah, this is made in Belgium as well, this stuff. You know, in Europe, I know they're really big on birds, probably more so than we are in the UK, sadly. Hopefully people watching this type of video will get the bug as well and join us bird nutters, if you like. But yeah, I have been using this moist egg food. It's brilliant stuff. You don't need to, you could use this all the time. You don't need to make your own. But eggs are cheap. You know, peas are cheap. You know, you can make your own egg food at a really good price. But like, as I said, if you're short on time, you know, your morning routine, you've got to get to work, you know, it's just quick to use this type of stuff, and super nutritious, and the birds love it. My birds don't love this as much, not on its own, and not even if I mix it with water. I don't know why. Perhaps I make it too wet. It's just one of those things you'd have to keep adding more and adding more dry, and then it is a bit of a challenge. But this moist egg food, I think, is brilliant stuff. So I tend to freeze it down in little containers like this, and you can see on this one it's frozen. It's ready for it, be ready for tomorrow. Don't know if you can see clearly enough, but there is carrot in this one, and Perle Morbid is another good thing. I didn't add any of that, which I may do a minute before I freeze the rest down. So I did buy quite a lot of Perle Morbid a while ago, but this is the last of it now, and I probably won't buy it anymore. The birds, don't really take it on its own, but I've just been using it to add into my own mix. It's dry and it helps, again, soak up that moisture. And you know, it's full of really good stuff. They use it as a substitute for mixed seed, as far as I know. That's the purpose of it. But in this mixture, you will find that they will take it better. I just put a little bit over the top and then mix it in. You can see exactly how nice and crumbly it is. And compared to this, which is the moist egg food, looks pretty similar, doesn't it? Fraction of the price. Highly convenient. So that's the benefits of the moist egg food that you buy. It is highly convenient. You will find, like, I do understand what it's like when I get home in the mornings from work, because I work nights. Sometimes you can't be bothered to fart ass about with egg food and all that sort of stuff if you've not prepared some in advance. So the store, you know, the commercially produced moist egg food is a godsend. So think about it, egg food is like highly digestible, isn't it, for the chicks, and really easy for the parents to regurgitate, to feed their youngsters. Think about it, the chicks are growing at an astonishing rate, aren't they? They're in the nest, what, 22, 23 days? And then they're fully feathered and on the perch. So there's a massive amount of energy being pushed into these tiny little bodies that are growing at a massive rate, and those parents need all the help they can. So highly recommend giving your birds egg food. I would suggest not breeding without it, to be honest. It would just seem totally unfair. I guess as well, with this dried egg food, mixing it with water, you could also just add in some, say, grated carrot, some sprouted seeds, or some Perle Morbid if that's your preference, and just to make it a little bit more interesting. Obviously with a bit of water, I'm sure it would make great egg food. It's just that I always put too much water, and then it's just a faff really. But it's great for what I use it for. So I hope you find that useful, little insight into how I make my egg food. It's not a chore. It takes probably 15-20 minutes max. You know, boil the eggs for 6 minutes, get your veg up together, get it all ready, liquidized, mash it all together, and then chuck in some biscuits or the dry egg food, and you are sorted. So thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe to the channel, it would be great if you would. If you want to join the channel membership, that would also be awesome. But it's great to have you here anyway. Bye for now, guys.